Hello everyone, it's Adamant MTG here once again to play Magic the Gathering Arena and continuing our series on the new player quick tips. Now we are continuing the color challenge. We've got red and green left. As you can see, our daily quests have red and green in every single one, so we'll be able to accomplish these. So let's look at spinning. Let's spin this one, since we have an opportunity to get more gold. And we did not, but we still can complete this quest and get 500, and we can still accomplish all of these in these next two series. So red and green, we have green here, and play 25 land, which every deck has land, so easy enough. All right, let's start off. We are moving into the red deck, so we are going to be assuming the identity of the Planeswalker Chandra Nalaar. Now, those of you unfamiliar with the origins of Magic the Gathering, Richard Garfield sort of intended the player to be the Planeswalker. Planeswalkers were powerful sorcerers from across the multi-dimensional universe who gain a spark. That spark is basically buying your first pack of Magic cards. That's called the spark. The spark means you are a customer and you are giving your money to a hobby that you enjoy. Or you are, if you want to get into the more, much more cooler sounding aspect, you are a sorcerer supreme, multi-dimensional traveler who gathers spells from across the multiverse, spells which include summoning creatures, summoning powerful artifacts, summoning, using your vast knowledge of mystical arts to cast spells such as lightning bolts and Nexus of Fates and everything else you have access to as a Planeswalker. And then later, as they thought, well, if you're a Planeswalker, then we could have actual Planeswalker like superheroes like Chandra and Liliana. And it sort of takes the fun away. I don't want to say the fun, but it takes away the where you're special. Now you're just some person that plays Magic. I like it when we were Planeswalkers. It felt good. I don't know if they use that terminology anymore. I guess they do sometimes. But usually when you hear the term Planeswalker, it's for one of these characters, these arguably fictional characters. No offense, Chandra, if you're out there and you're not fictional. But when I started playing Magic, Boomer Magic, we were Planeswalkers and we had cards. Anyways, that's just a quick aside on the history of Planeswalkers. You can do more research if you'd like, or ask me questions in my Twitch chat. So she's playing Goblins, makes sense. They're pretty much the sort of the thematic creature of red, I would guess. I mean, there's a lot of other creatures. They have Minotaurs and they have giants and everything else, but I think Goblins are pretty on brand with red. So let's start out. See what happens. We're facing Jace. Perfect enemy. He becomes blocked. He has a child. I don't really understand it, but that's okay. Now a 1/3 for 2. Well, that pretty much shuts us down. So let's put out more goblins. Usually cards have some sort of a logical, like when they have an effect, oftentimes I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like there's some reasoning or some, something mechanically that works, but it also works thematically. So I'm always interested in trying to fit or understand the theme. So someone in R&D said, hey, this creature is going to be called the Tin Street Cadet. We already know where Tin Street is. It's kind of a rough and tumble, alleyway with some gangs and some, like, it feels like they have some crime syndicates sort of thing going on Tin Street. And we know some goblins, kind of, some unsavory goblins hang around, but why would it become blocked and create another one of itself? Maybe because when one gets caught by the authorities, there's always another goblin to take his place. Maybe that's the theme that we're going for. Trying to figure it out. Seems about right. Oh, double 1/3s. 1/3 seem pretty good against my deck. All right, Jace. I mean, I guess we have to win with this sort of thing, which seems okay. I guess we have to just swarm them with annoying goblins who replace themselves, and we get more damage every turn. So it seems fine, because they'll probably attack. I don't know why. All the sworn guardians. All right. Still think their weapons and armor look like watermelon gummies. Delicious. What does it say? Two plus the number of... Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty neat. Hey, Jace is... Oh, not attacking anymore. I say we still go for it, right? Now, if we could top deck another bombardment, then we just win, right? And damage. We're not that good at magic, but that's okay. We're gonna come in pretty hard. So if we attack here, we do 5. We don't die in the return attack, and we just need to have another goblin or a source of damage to attack with these 4. I'm gonna go for it. Seems like the right thing to do. Goblins are aggressive. Red as a color is very aggressive, so we're gonna play aggressively. And they didn't... okay. So yeah, we won. We have 5 on the board now. They're at 4. I'm not sure why 1 got through. Did they only have 4 blockers? I think it was just a classic mistake. Jace, you made a mistake. And we will make you pay for it. Aggression wins. If I would have held back on any of those turns and not attacked every turn with the understanding that my goblins were going to die, as a red planeswalker, or if you're commanding a red deck, you can't be attached to your creatures at all. Realize that that's part of the theme, or the every color has a color identity. Sometimes if you love your creatures and you don't want, you'll block or you won't attack, but red, you don't care. Red, all you care about is the final victory, which is defeating your opponent, going to the face. Nothing else matters. Upgrade the deck and move on with Liliana as our opponent. Not easy to say the name when you have a mouthful of marbles. Alright, we have land. We have Raid Bombardment, which we know is a good spell. Good enchantment. Saved our butts and won the game single-handedly. Their noses are so pointy. The pointiest nose I've ever seen. Alright, so can't be blocked. That seems neat. Now, with burn spells in red, in a creature-based deck, I typically use them just like this. I will use them to destroy blockers. That way we're doing 6 damage this turn. 4 and 2. Nice. Oh. Creatures get a +1 or +2 is an instant. Alright, I can take 7 here. They have lethal next turn. If I have to block. Ooh, but I just got haste. 6 and only 1 has to get through, so we win. Huh. Pretty wild. Again, aggression is key. And we're racing through, as a red deck would do. Some people like red because it's nice and fast. You get your games over with if you have a busy life and you want to... You know, nothing wrong with playing red decks. They get a lot of heat or a lot of flack for being brainless. I do not agree with that. I do not agree that red decks are brainless. They are aggressive, and you have to know your math skills, mostly subtraction. And what you're using subtraction is you're looking at your opponent's life total and you're seeing how much damage you can do and how often you can bring them to negative or 0. Vivian Reed is our next opponent. Now, green is classically a very tough matchup for red because green has usually bigger creatures and effective, efficient creatures, hard to deal with. On top, they sometimes have ramp to put out really big creatures very quickly. And their creatures are typically, there's a ramp card right there. So they're able to cast a 4 casting cost spell if they have a land drop next turn. And I'm still stuck here at 1. So it shows you how quickly. Now, usually, if you haven't heard the term before, there's a term called Bolt the Bird. And that term was coined way back in the day when there was a card called Bird of Paradise, which was 1 green, 0/1 creature that you could tap for any color of mana. So killing the Bird of Paradise was essential to slowing down your opponent's resource. And it's the same goes for any mana creature that someone has out early. As I said, they have potentially a 4-drop next turn. But if I kill the bird, then they're down to a 3-drop, and it really kind of shuts down their plan, their game plan of mana acceleration and big fatties, which are, you know, big creatures that red has a hard time dealing with. Like, I can't get around anything. So I'm going to do the classic Bolt the Bird. Sometimes it doesn't feel like, it feels like, well, that was kind of a waste of a shock, you know, but honestly, that is the best play. But keep in mind, there's a reason for that being a conceptual idea. Bolt the Bird has always been around, and I'll do it again. spending my shocks on... Now, of course, they still have 3 mana, so they could theoretically drop another forest, and I'm back to where we started. But I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Get haste, get a little damage in. Yep, 4th land. And another Mystic. Wow. They're not messing around with that whole thing. 6 damage to any target. Well, now we're getting to the point where we can kill one of the big creatures, so I guess I'll just put down the Goblin Gang Leader, and we will attack. Now, attacking here gives us the same thing if they don't block, which they could. That means they want that mana, and sure enough, they wanted to get a 10-10 out. A reasonable... so we were doing the right thing. Bolting the bird slowed that baby down. And now what do we got? We can still go with what's considered going wide. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to burn bright. Now, in the case that you don't know if they're going to block or not, and you have a spell and instant, you can always put a stop at the this phase right here after blockers. Decide what they're going to do. You're going to get a priority change anyways, but in case they don't block, sometimes you want to... I just like setting stops. Maybe it's not always necessary. So we're going to do this. Get some extra damage in with the ones that do hit. And they do hit pretty hard. And now we just go over the top. We just need 1 land. And we need to survive this. I think we can do. 4/4 is pretty solid. And they're attacking with 2 things. That means 2 things get through. So at minimum, they're doing... So this is kind of interesting. They're going to be at 6. There's 6 right now. 2 get through. That's 4. We do need an extra land. If we don't get the land, we'll have to do some blocking things, but that's okay. None of these trample. The good news is even though that thing looks scary, it's not that scary. And we drew the land anyways, so it's all we need to do is get him. Again, it's all about aggression, and bolting the bird was the key to that victory, slowing down that 10-10. All right, and now we face. So we get our quest lines complete, 500 experience points and 500 gold pieces. Upgrade the deck, new cards. Ajani is our final, well, not the final boss. The final boss, as you know, is a mystery opponent, but the final planeswalker is Ajani. Usually life gain, again, another sometimes tricky opponent for the red player. Fencing Ace, alright. Double Strike. The way Double Strike works is it has 2 distinctive combat steps. First Strike is the predecessor of Double Strike. And what First Strike does is it lets you do your damage before other things do damage. With Double Strike, it's similar. You do damage before other things do damage, and then you do damage again. So you're doing first strike damage and then regular strike. But they don't call it regular strike. Don't ever say that out loud. Someone who's plays Magic a lot will say, "What are you talking about?" There's no such thing as regular strike. It's just combat damage. I'll put the other creature out first. One 4s for 2 seems pretty reasonable. Now, they might have combat trick, but I'm just gonna block. Anyways, those are my blocks. I'm gonna pump this up, which will kill that. I don't know why they attacked if they didn't have a trick, but alright. I guess that's just Ajani not paying much attention. More blocks. Don't really do anything there, but I mean, I could attack, but I don't have any reason to. Uh-oh. One or more creatures you control attack, they gain indestructible. Pretty cool. I'll pick that one. Fuck. Another one of them. What, they all? They gain, oh wow. Everything's indestructible. That's pretty cool. I like it. Oh, we've never missed a land drop in these games. That's interesting, right? Wow. That was nice. Alright, so this is gonna hurt. Thing's indestructible. I don't want to double block. That. Blocking is a little bit weird the way that it arranges your cards, so be careful when you're moving things around. They switch positions and it can be a little bit awkward. Well, I guess this is kind of cool, because one of them becomes unblockable, right? And then we can attack with it. And then we'll get those pluses. In addition, we can pump it. Per time. Now, this race, I don't know if we'll win, but we're going to try. Another flyer. Wow. We might have to see 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7. One blocker. Another land. Wow. Well, 9 land is excessive. I don't think we win here. Maybe I should have been attacking. I think I missed an opportunity to attack earlier, and I didn't follow the rules of be as aggressive as possible. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we have Exacxes. Come on. I'm scared that it won't let me use my triggers. There we go. Alright, we did it. For a minute, I was not confident, but then that's what math is for. Not exactly Exacxes, but Exacxes enough. Anything that kills them is Exacxes, right? Pretty close. That was the only way we won that game. Good thing we had the right combination of unblockable things and bombardments. All right, victory is ours. Let's see how many. If we Completed all our daily quests. Looks like we got pretty close. Upgrade the deck, sure. Let me go home real quick and see where our quest lines are. Black and green, alright. So the next run of green color challenge will complete our daily quests. Wanted to double check that. Alright, the final and mystery guest. The final boss. The stranger on the internet who has a deck either geared to crush us or will be aggressive enough to defeat them. Who are they? We're going to find out right now. Our enemy of the day, the first boss, the red color challenge opponent is I don't know how to pronounce it. Chiolina? I don't know if is it double C CH sound? Remember. A long time since I've taken Italian class. I haven't. I'm assuming that's Italian. It looks Italian. Chiolina. Chiolina. If you're Italian and are offended by my accent and comments, let me know. I have no idea. My stepdad was Italian, actually. He was from northern Italy. Nice guy. All right, Fencing Ace. Now, with Fencing Ace in the hands of a human opponent, I'm actually going to hold on to my shock. Because the idea here is to kill the ace before it gets enchanted. That becomes a much scarier creature when it's not a 1/1, but when it's like something with a plus on it. Ouch, it hurts. We're going to take the damage. Of course, it's 2 damage. Try to find a blocker. We missed a land drop. Seems like we haven't missed land drops with this deck, but now we are. I could mulligan, but I thought 2 was enough. Maybe I was wrong. That's a big problem. Missing a land drop and letting them get a war leader out feels like we're just going to lose now. That thing swings, we're done for. Yep, done for. Darn it. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate to lose by the luck of the draw, but, you know, mana is an important part of this game. If you don't get it, and they just throw out creatures like Sarah Angels and War Leaders on curve, and that's it. You are done. No amount of red decking is get us out of this. Toasty War Leader. And our board is now clear. And we draw 6 casting cost creature, and we have 2 mana. This is sometimes what happens in Magic. Don't be afraid to just scoop when things look bad. We're going to let our opponent kill us, but they never missed a land drop. Wow. We did. And because this is the final boss, this is the end no matter what. Well, we don't get any redos here. Still not another land. How many is this deck running now? I've got to look at it. Clearly it's not running enough. Anyone who asks the question, well, how many do you run? You just have to eliminate them from your lives. There's no such thing as, well, how many do you run? If you only saw 2, you must not run enough, is not at all how the shuffler works. The shuffler will give you land, or it'll give you a flood, or not give you enough, regardless of how much you have in your deck. You can have 30 land in a 60-card deck. this will still happen to you. You can have 15 land in a 60 card deck and you'll get 9. It is simply just the randomness of the randomness. All right, so let's get our prize. That was a very unfortunate boss fight. I'd like to be more competitive and have more fun than that, but that was one of those games you just have to chalk up to, okay, I guess I can't play. After every game, we did fine mana every single time until it really counted. Neat. Okay, so we are going to leave that and not play that anymore and continue. I'll do one more video for the green color challenge. Let's take a look at this deck just now that we unlocked it and everything. Take a look at what they've done to it. So when you go back into the deck, for some reason it's a 69 card deck instead of, and I think it's because they put the weird stuff in the sideboard. I don't really understand how, I still am not 100% sure how they do this. 25 land. Anyways, like, was I playing a 69 card deck or was I playing a 60 card deck? I don't know anymore. Like, why would it even give me this? But we'll go back and tune these up later. That'll be another series that I do. All right, well, thanks for joining the Mono Red color challenge. If you are a big fan of red decks and have any questions or comments below, please leave them in the YouTube area. I appreciate everyone hanging out, and always, as always, constructive criticism, questions, and if you want live, like, new player questions and new player tips. Obviously, this series is intended to get people to kind of check the channel out, but on Twitch, doing it live is a lot of fun too, because I can answer direct questions and help people with their decks and ideas they have if you're a new player to Magic or maybe an experienced player. If you're experienced and want to provide feedback or help other people in the community, sort of what I like to do. So be good to each other, be good to yourselves, and help new players learn the beauty of Magic. In this day and age, with the inability of people to travel to shops and learn Magic one-on-one or with human beings in a close proximity, it's usually the best way. But if I can help people learn to love Magic and expose them to tips and tricks to help them be a better Magic player online, as well as in person with your friends, then that's what I hopefully can do. So send new players my way. I'd be happy to help them. And once again, take care. Have a great rest of your day.